The people that last longer in bed, they've already mastered their point of no return. So they know when to turn back. They know that they cannot get, if you need to satisfy your partner, you can't get there until your partner is satisfied, right? What's up, beautiful people? Welcome to another exciting episode of Pillow Talk with Dr. O. You already know. And today, as usual, we're continuing on the premature ejaculation series with some very, very interesting topic. You know, last time we talked about how you can last longer in bed, right? So basically what we're trying to do in this series is defeat premature ejaculation, because I discovered that a lot of men are actually dealing with this problem, and some are embarrassed or shy to come out and say, this is actually what I'm dealing with. And it gets so bad that some of them actually shy away from sexual intercourse because of this single problem. So right now, I'm here to tell you, don't worry, everything's going to be fine and you're going to get through this. Just follow the simple steps that we discussed and you'll be fine. And remember that a supportive partner matters a lot. Ladies, please try to be as supportive as possible. Be supportive of your partner, right? It's just take it like an investment. You're investing this time and supporting your partner and you get to reap the benefits. Last time we talked about the start-stop method or the edging technique. Today we're going to talk about the pause-squeeze technique. Very similar to the start-stop method. In case you missed my video on the start-stop method, please, I'm going to link it down below. Make sure you follow the link and watch the video, right? Very important. It's also a very, very nice technique that you can use, especially if this method I'm about to discuss doesn't work for you, or if you kind of feel this method is painful for you or whatever. You can try that method. That method also works. So basically, like I explained in my last video, the whole basis of this technique is on something that we call the point of no return. So basically, what's premature ejaculation? Premature ejaculation is usually when you orgasm sooner than you wish to, right, in bed, or you're not able to delay your orgasm almost every time, or you orgasm within 1 minute or less, right? That's what we mean by premature ejaculation. So a lot of men actually don't even meet the diagnosis of premature ejaculation, right? For some men, it's not like they have premature ejaculation all the time. There's something that they have. Maybe their own diagnosis might be something called variable premature ejaculation, where on a normal day they have regular, they ejaculate at the time they want to, or they don't have any problems dealing with premature ejaculation, and only on some times or in some encounters do they actually face this premature ejaculation issue, right? That's a totally different thing. But we're talking to people that have this issue all the time. They have it constantly. There's never a time they're actually able to control their ejaculation or ejaculate at the time they want to, right? These are the people that we're talking to. We're not talking to people that can control it and then maybe a one-off they didn't control it. Nah, there's nothing wrong with you. We're talking about people that constantly cannot control it, or have never even been able to control it in their life, or maybe have been able to control it in the past, but all of a sudden in the last few days, few weeks, few years, they're having issues with that, right? So those are the people we're talking to. And sometimes this premature ejaculation can actually cause problems between partners, especially if your partner doesn't know you have a problem. That's why number one way to deal with this is to be open with your partner. If your partner does not know that you actually have this problem, she's going to think that you're being selfish, that you're just orgasming anytime you like, and you're not even caring about how she feels, if she's satisfied and all that, when actually that's not even the case, right? I know sometimes it can make you feel, it can bruise your ego, make you feel less of a man. You can start feeling like, oh, I can't even satisfy my wife in bed, I can't even satisfy my partner in bed. You start to feel like you're not worth anything and stuff like that. Yeah, it actually leads to depression for a lot of men, because like it or not, for everybody, especially men, their sexual health is very important to them, right? And they are usually shy about talking about these things, right? Because men are just shy about talking about some things. So anyway, back to what I was saying. Pause-squeeze technique. Let me just explain how it works. So basically, just like the start-stop method, like I was saying, is based on something called point of no return. So what's point of no return? When you're having intercourse, right, the momentum builds up, and you're enjoying it, and it's building up, and the enjoyment is just getting to your head. It's going to get to a part where if you reach that point, the next few seconds, right, you're going to orgasm and ejaculate, right? So when you see that you are reaching that part, right, where when you get there, definitely there is no turning back. That's why it's called point of no return. Once you reach there, like, you cannot turn. There is nothing that can, even if earthquake should happen, even if they throw bomb, you cannot turn back at that point in time. It's just straight on from there. You get what I'm trying to say? So when you know that you are reaching that part where you cannot turn back at all, that's when you need to stop. So you're not trying to stop when you get to that part. You're trying to stop before you get to that part, because the moment you get there, it's called point of no return. Like, there's no turning back. You cannot turn back, even if you wanted to, right? You can't. So make sure that if you want to learn to control your ejaculation, if you want to last longer in bed, then the key is don't even get to that point of no return. So you want to be stopping around here when we're using this technique, right? We don't want to get here. Once you get here, it's useless. You can't use the technique. But you want something about here, around here. And like I said in my last video, the difference between men that last longer in bed and those who don't is that the people that last longer in bed, they've already mastered their point of no return. So they know when to turn back. They know that they cannot get, if you need to satisfy your partner, you can't get there until your partner is satisfied, right? So that's the difference between the two people. Those that have premature ejaculation or are struggling with premature ejaculation, they've not mastered their point of return. They don't know their point of return, right? That is why they're just ejaculating, because they don't even know when they'll get it. When they even get it, they don't even know how. Before you know, they've already orgasmed. Really? What happened? Yeah. So you need to learn this method. You need to know your point of no return, and this takes practice. This takes time. This takes patience. So that's why your partner needs to be patient with you if you are going to be able to learn your point of no return, because it requires you being observant. It requires you studying your body a lot, right? To know what actually gets you to that point, to know what actually stimulates you, to know what you actually like, right? So basically, that requires practice, knowing that. Now, how does this PauseSqueeze technique work? When during sexual intercourse, momentum is building, I see that you're enjoying it. You're seeing that this thing is sweet in my body, and you're just getting there, right? Before you get to that point, when you see that you're enjoying this thing too much, and you feel like, if I continue like this, I'm definitely going to orgasm, you might want to just pause. At the point where you feel like, this thing gets, basically at the point where enjoyment is getting too much, you might want to just pause. Now, how this pause and squeeze technique works is you pause, and you take, so the tip of your penis, so now I don't have anything to demonstrate, but let me use my finger. So assume this is your body, this is your penis, right? This is your private part, and this is the tip, right? So you know there is a part, like this is the top, like, so you want to be squeezing this part, right? Just squeeze it a little tightly, like squeeze it. So you can either, like I said, you should always involve your partner. So either you tell your partner to squeeze, or you squeeze yourself. For some people, they prefer to squeeze in themselves because they know how it feels. They know the kind of pressure to apply, as opposed to someone else that might not be doing it right. So you need to squeeze on the tip of your penis, squeeze on the tip of your private part. Keep squeezing until you no longer feel the urge to orgasm, or until you feel like, okay, you have come down now, hey, you're now back to plan. Let's get to the rest of it, right? That's when you need to stop, right? And then after that, you can proceed to what you were doing before you got to that part, right? And this method, you can use it as many times as you want. So you can feel free to disconnect, so pause, squeeze, and then wait till you get back to normal. Of course, when you are squeezing, your partner might be pissed off, like, okay, she was in the moment, and then you just did like NEPA, basically. You just cut the lights when somebody was enjoying an interesting movie. Like, your partner might be pissed off. So one thing you can do to keep your partner in the mood while you deal with this issue, like I said, your partner is already involved, so she knows you're dealing with something, right? Is you could be doing some acts of foreplay on your partner. I don't want to go into detail because that's not what this is all about. So you could be doing some acts of foreplay on your partner while you're squeezing, right? And disconnecting from the whole situation. And when you feel like you're back down to ground zero, or planet Earth with the rest of us, then you can proceed and start again. So you can do this PauseSqueeze as often as you need to, right? But let me tell you something, it requires patience. So it's not going to happen in a day. You would now try today and expect miracles. No, it doesn't work like that. Of course, you try the first time, it may not work for you. Try the second time, it might not even work. But if you keep doing it, you will see that you're getting better, right? You're lasting longer. So let's say you did it, maybe the 5th or 6th try, you lasted a little longer. Let's say you lasted 2 minutes. And then you kept doing it, and next thing you see that you're lasting 3 minutes, and you're doing it again 4 minutes, and then the rest is history, right? So like everything in life, everything requires perseverance, it requires patience, it requires determination. But trust me, if you keep at it, you will definitely get there. It will definitely help you. So don't try and rely on any pills. Pills are artificial, right? So you mean if you don't have a pill, then what's going to happen, right? Don't try and rely on anything else. Just work on your mind, work on your body. Practice, and I'm sure that you're going to get there. But remember to always involve your partner. Be open. I know it's not a guy thing to be open and expose secrets and talk about problems, but you need to just calm down, from your man horse and relax, talk to your partner or talk to your sexual therapist or your doctor or whatever, and let them know this is my problem. But your partner has to be involved, even if it means you guys have to go for counseling or therapy together so you can work around it. But you just have to get past this phase, right? Because after you've gone past this phase, trust me, everything's going to be in the past. But you just need to just move past that phase of, oh, I feel worthless, oh, I feel less of a man, oh, I'm shying away from sexual activity because I feel like I'm going to do this, so I'm not going to satisfy my partner. Like, it can be a really depressing feeling, and you don't want to be feeling like that. So just try out this technique. Let me know if it works for you. People that have tried that before, did it work out? And one thing you need to know before you say a technique didn't work, right? Make sure that you're doing it the right way. Make sure that you are squeezing the right part. Make sure that you're withdrawing at the right time. Remember, if you reach the point of no return before you withdraw, it's not going to work. You're basically wasting your time. So one way you have to, one thing that determines if this technique is going to work is for you to master your point of no return. So that on its own is another chapter before we now talk about applying this technique, right? So these are some of the things you need to consider. Let me know, like I said, if it works out for you. Always remember that your sexual health and well-being is as important as your general health and well-being. See you next week.